Chapter 4, The Disagreement. On Monday, I skipped into room 9, very thrilled. Mrs., look, I have all my Valentines for the big giant Valentine's box. They are right here in this paper bag I'm carrying. I run and showed her inside. See them? See them, Mrs.? I matched every single card to the exact person who will get it. Mrs. patted my head. She said the word, good job. Then she took me by the hand and she showed me how to put my Valentines through the mail slot in the box. I do believe you are the very first person in room 9 to bring in her cards. I did a gasp at that exciting news. First, Mrs.? I'm really first? After that, I spring way high in the air and I ran around and around in a circle. I've never been first at anything before. Not ever, never. And so what is the prize for winning? I closed my eyes and I held out my hand. Put it right here in my hands, okay, Mrs.? I won't even peek, I promise. After that, I stood there real patient, but nothing got put in my hands. Finally, Mrs. bended down next to my ear. Junie B, honey, I'm really sorry, but there is no prize. We weren't actually having a contest. We weren't? My shoulder slumped a teeny bit. So then a prize would be out of the question, probably. I'm afraid I didn't buy any prizes. After that, I rocked back and forth on my feet and I thought, would you happen to have a mint in your drawer maybe, or some stickers? Mrs. smiled. She took me to her desk and we looked in her drawer. How about a broken piece of chalk and a yellow rubber band? Sold. After that, Mrs. told me congratulations and she gave me my prizes. I quick skipped to my table to show them to Lucille and she wrinkled up her nose. Yuck. Have you been going through the trash can again? She asked. No, silly. These are my prizes. I got prizes for bringing in my Valentines first. Lucille smoothed her dress. Yes, well, I would have brought my cards in today too, but they're not back from the printers yet, she told me. What? What printers? The printers where they print my name on the cards. Wait till you see them, Junie B. Every card will have love and kisses from Lucille on the bottom of it. And she hugged herself. They are so beautiful, she said. Each Valentine has a cherry lollipop on the front, and the lollipop is in the shape of Cupid. Cupid is the symbol of Valentine's Day, you know. Of course I know. Plus also skunks and shoes are symbols of Valentine's Day too, because that's what's on my cards. After that, me and Lucille did our work till recess, and then both of us went outside to play with our other bestest friend, Grace. Only too bad for us, because Lucille kept on bragging about Valentine's Day, and that's how come she and that Grace got into a disagreement. I'm going to get more Valentines than anyone, bragged Lucille. That's because the boys love me better than any other girl, and they will bring me lots and lots of cards. Grace looked curious at her. But Mrs. said to only bring one card for every boy and girl, remember? Not lots and lots. Lucille flounced her flouncy dress. Silly Grace, look at me for goodness sakes. I am precious. And when you're precious, boys automatically bring you lots of Valentines. They just can't help themselves, as she twirled all around. I'm the cutest girl in room 9, Grace. I am way cuter than anyone else. She giggled. Even you. After that, Grace did a little frown because that hurt her feelings, I think. I tapped on Lucille. Yeah, only Grace is the nicest, Lucille. And so maybe the boys will bring her lots of Valentines too. Lucille did a huffy breath at me. But I'm richer than Grace, Junie B, so that is another reason to bring me more. I thought for a minute. Yes, but Grace can run faster. So my hair is longer and boys like long hair. I looked at Grace's head, but Grace's hair is springier and curlier, and that is cute as a button. Lucille made squinty eyes at me. But I have a big screen TV and a pool. That's how come me and that Grace leaned our heads together and we got in a huggle. Finally, I looked up at Lucille. Okay, here's what we came up with. Grace can whistle through her teeth, she can wiggle her ears, and also she can dribble a basketball through her legs while she's running. Lucille jumped up and down. But I have a pony, she hollered. I patted her, very sympathetic. Sorry, Grace has a snake. After that, Lucille's shoulders got very sagging and she sat down in the grass because boys love snakes better than anything. Pretty soon that Grace sat down next to Lucille and she put her arm around Lucille's shoulders and she patted her because guess what else? Grace is a good sport. Chapter 5, Valentine's time. Valentine's Day came on Friday and guess what? My grandma Helen Miller bought me a special Valentine's outfit and it matched my heart antennas very perfect. That day at school, I skipped all around room 9 because I was a treat for the eyes, I tell you. Finally, I sat in my seat and Mrs. took attendance and guess what? Nobody was absent because who wants to miss a party? That's why. After attendance, Mrs. put on a special Valentine's apron. It had a big heart pocket in the front. Then she filled the heart pocket with Valentine's cards from the box and she delivered them to all the children. And wait till you hear this. The very first Valentine was delivered to me, to Junie B. Jones, and it said my name right on the envelope. Yahoo! I shouted real thrilled. I am first again, Mrs. Yahoo! Yahoo! After that, Mrs. kept on delivering cards until the whole Valentine's box was empty. Then all of us got to open up our cards, and it was as fun as a birthday party, I tell you. After Lucille finished opening her Valentines, she called Grace to our table. Come here, Grace. Come here and bring your Valentines. Then you and I can count our cards, and we'll see who got the most from the boys, she said. Grace came over and smiled, kind of nervous. Well, okay, here goes. Then Grace put all of her Valentines in front of me and Lucille, and she counted them one by one. Pretty soon, Grace wasn't smiling anymore. Rats, I knew I shouldn't have come over here. Why, Grace? How many did you get? You have to tell me, Grace, how many? I only got 17. I only got one card from every person, and that's all, no extras. Lucille's face lighted up very bright and flipped her head all in the air. Gee, I'm sorry to hear that, Grace. Well, I suppose I should count mine now. After that, Lucille counted her cards in front of me and Grace, and she counted them right out loud. 13, 14, 15, 16, and all of a sudden she stopped counting because there was only one more Valentine left in her pile. That's why. She quick stood up at her seat and looked all around herself. First, she looked under the table. Then she looked on top of the chair and all over the floor. Also, she looked in her pockets and her backpack and her purse. Finally, she sat down real upset. I don't understand. How could this be happening? Every day, my Nana tells me how special I am, but 17 Valentines isn't special at all. 17 Valentines is just the same as everybody else. Nanas, I said, you can't believe a word they say. Grace looked cheerier. Count yours, Junie B. Count your Valentines and see if you got 17 like Lucille and me. Of course I got 17, silly Grace. Everybody in the whole room got 17. It was the rule, remember? After that, I put all my cards in a pile and I counted them out real loud, just like Lucille. And I did a frown and then I counted them again. And even again. Because guess what? Somebody broke the rule. That's what. I springed up on my chair. All right, people, who didn't send me a Valentine? And do not try to deny it because I've got 16 cards in my pile. I pointed my finger at Meanie Jim. Was it you, mister? Huh? Are you the meanie head who didn't send me one? Or maybe it was you, Mr. Polly Allen Puffer. Or you, Charlotte, who I don't actually know your name. Or you, Roger. Or then Mrs. swooped me off of my chair. Do not stand on your chair, Junie B, she said, and please don't fight about Valentines. If someone didn't send you a card, it was just a mistake. No one would do something like that on purpose. I'm sure of it. After that, I sat back down in my seat and I looked at that woman very curious because Mrs. is a nice teacher, but sometimes she doesn't understand children at all. Chapter 6, bingo. I put my head down on my table because I needed to figure out who didn't send me a Valentine. That's why I thinked and thinked real hard. And then all of a sudden I springed up. Lucille, I thinked of a plan. I thinked of how to find that guy. All I have to do is see the names of who signed my Valentines because whoever is missing is the person who didn't send me one. Lucille looked admiring at me. That is very smart of you, Junie B. You should be on cops. I know it. My head is as smart as a tack. After that, I got all the Valentines in a pile, and me and Lucille looked at the people who signed them. We kept track of their names very good, only too bad because 7 of my Valentines weren't even signed. Darn it, I said. Now what am I supposed to do? Just then, I saw Mrs. hurrying to my table again. Junie B, I've got good news for you. Guess what I just found in the bottom of the Valentine box? I sat up real quick because guessing games are my favorite. A meatball, I said. Mrs. did a frown. No, Junie B. Why would there be a meatball in the box? Think about it. What have people been putting in the Valentine's box all week? Valentine's cards. Right. And how many Valentines did you get today? 16. Yes. You were missing one, weren't you? And so what do you think I found in the bottom of the box just now? That time I thought my hardest. A meatball, I said. Mrs. rolled her eyes up at the ceiling. Then I looked up there too, but I didn't see anything. Finally, Mrs. pulled a giant envelope from behind her back. Know this, Junie B. This is what I found in the bottom of the box. And I found this big envelope, and it's addressed to you. My mouth came open, very shocked, and then all of a sudden I clapped my hands. Hey, wait a second here. Maybe this could be my missing Valentine. Mrs. looked funny at me. Bingo, she said, kind of soft. Yes, bingo, bingo, bingo. After that, I jumped up and down and I danced all around because nobody broke the rule after that. After all, and that was very nice of them. After I finished dancing, I opened up the envelope and it was the beautifulest card I ever saw. It had lace and hearts all over the front, and a purple ribbon was weaved all around the edge. Look, Mrs. Look. It's a mushy gushy kind, I said. I always wanted one of these things. Who sent it, huh? Read me their name, okay? Who sent it? Who sent it? Mrs. opened up the card and looked at the name, and then she laughed out loud. Well. It looks like you got yourself a fan, she said. She rumpled my hair. This card is signed from your secret admirer. Huh? What? Who? A secret admirer is someone who likes you very much, but he's too shy to tell you, she explained. I guess your Valentine's Day turned out pretty good after all, huh? Yes, my Valentine's Day turned out almost perfect. Now all I have to do is figure out who my secret admirer is, and I will be in business. After that, I put my head on my table and I closed my eyes because I needed to think of another plan, of course.